is Wendy. Wendy Askew. And she deserves extra praise because she has been at almost every action in Monterey County. She is truly for the people, and I'm very grateful that she's here today. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over the mic.
You're going to make me cry. All right, well, first things first, I just want to say I'm so lucky to represent Monterey County, and we are lucky in Monterey County to have leadership, broadly speaking, that believes in the values that we are speaking about today. Monterey County, all my colleagues on the board immediately took action to protect immigrants. We immediately took action to protect reproductive rights. We immediately took action to protect our Medi-Cal and our health benefits. So your board of supervisors is united and unanimous in support of the values that we're standing here to fight for. So I'm here representing the entire board of supervisors and the values that we're fighting for here. Thank you. And we are not, there's so many of my colleagues across the state and across the country who represent counties, and they are not as lucky as we are to have colleagues who stand with them. So I just want to give credit where credit's due. And my colleagues need to continue to hear from you that this is what you want to see and the leadership that you expect from them. So thank you for showing up, and credit to my colleagues. They asked me, I have other things I want to say, and I wanted someone to cut me off if I go over time, but they asked me to talk a little bit about Medi-Cal and some of the cuts that we're fighting for healthcare. And not to be dire, but the reality is dire. In Monterey, in California, we have about 17 million Californians who rely on Medi-Cal, and what we call Medi-Cal in the country is Medicaid. So when they're talking about Medicaid cuts in California, that's what we talk about Medi-Cal. In California, we also have Covered California. And about 90% of our enrollees in California who have Covered California, they're getting federal subsidies. So for everyone who has Covered California, 90% of those folks are getting federal subsidies that are at risk. In Monterey County, half of our residents rely on Medi-Cal for their health benefits. In Monterey County, we call that the Alliance for Health. That's who administers our Medi-Cal here. They're talking about things like adding work requirements. Well, you know what? Most of our Medi-Cal recipients already work. They're already working. So when we talk about work requirements, we're just talking about added bureaucracy that's going to increase costs to administer Medi-Cal and increase burdens for families who are already working, already doing everything they can to provide care for their family, which is going to mean that they lose their benefits because they can't show up to an office to provide additional paperwork. It's bullshit. That's what it is. When we talk about Medi-Cal in Monterey County, we're talking about 70% of the babies who are born are covered by Medi-Cal. 70% of our moms receive their prenatal care and their postpartum benefits through Medi-Cal. That's what's at risk of being lost right now. In Monterey County, we're talking about our immigrants who receive care through Medi-Cal. We're talking about our undocumented low-income families who are getting basic cardiac diabetes care through Medi-Cal. Because in California, we said we care about people, and we're going to expand medical benefits to our immigrant communities here in California. We're going to fight to protect that. Even if the federal government says we don't care, in California, we say these are our values and we're going to protect that. So it's not just the federal fight we're fighting, it's the state fight we're fighting as well right now. I bounce between feeling like depths of despair, and part of that is acknowledging the realities that we are dealing with. And in Monterey County, I'm so proud to stand here with you today. You give me strength to keep fighting the fight, and I can't fight this fight alone. But in Monterey County, I'm looking at each of you. I'm looking at families who get up early, who work hard to raise your families, to care for your neighbors, to keep this community fed, cared for, and alive. We're here because we know something is wrong. It is so wrong. In Monterey County today, families are working harder than ever, but getting crushed by rising rents and broken promises. You need $240,000 a year to buy a house here. Who makes that? I don't. I don't know, if you make that much money and you can afford to, like, raise your hand, because I'll love to chat with you. But I'm going to tell you something. It's not by accident. It's the system working exactly as it was designed. It's working exactly as designed by a system that allows a handful of very wealthy billionaires to control our homes, our food, our water, our government. It's not democracy. It's a system that has become an oligarchy. And so when we talk about the local issues that we're fighting, that we're struggling with, they've become local and we're fighting about them locally, but they're really this national issue that has become so, is overtaken all parts of our democracy. It's been overtaken our healthcare, our housing, our food, our everything. And it's hurting the people who built this country. It's hurting us, it's hurting our families. And here in Monterey County, our immigrant families, our neighbors, our friends, those who feed the country, we're being treated as though we're disposable. And I want to make one thing clear, and I had the opportunity to go down to Los Angeles and listen to some incredible speakers at a big rally with 36,000 others a couple weeks ago. And it was inspirational to hold hands with 36,000 people and listen to Joan Baez sing Imagine. I have to say, it gave me hope, but let me be really clear, immigrants are not the problem. Immigrants are not the problem. Poverty wages are the problem. Billionaire landlords are the problem. Corporate greed is the problem. Policies that allow corporate greed to sustain are the problem. The same corporations that profit off of immigrant labor turn around and fund the politicians who want to tear our families apart and keep us down. That's the problem. That is the problem. And it happens in DC. It happens in Sacramento, and it happens right here. But I want you to look around, look at the person sitting next to you. If they consent, touch them, reach out, touch your neighbor. And I want you to know that this is what power looks like. This is what power looks like. We collectively are the ones who have the power. It cannot be. We cannot allow it to be the billionaires or the corporations. We are the people, my dad, my grandpa, my mother, we built this community. We continue to care for this community. We continue to feed this community. We built this community. Farm workers, I see you. Nurses, I see you nurses. You teachers, my elementary school teachers, I saw some of you over here. My dreamers and my fighters. You built this community, you raised this community, and we're going to take it back. We're here to say that housing is a human right, healthcare is a human right, dignity is a human right, freedom is a human right, and nobody is illegal on stolen land. Nobody. Not my friend, SEIU 2015 worker Cleona from Santa Cruz, who's in federal custody right now. She is not illegal on stolen land, and we're gonna fight like hell to bring her home. Yeah! So I wanna tell you that, as I said, I bounce between feeling despair and feeling like we gotta do everything we can to keep fighting because my son and maybe my someday future grandchildren depend on this. And in the same way that my father and my grandfather fought for this country, I'm gonna fight. It's gonna look different than what their fight looked like. But every great change in this country required us to organize, the right to vote, the right for my grandma to earn her vote, the right for my mom to earn her right to bodily autonomy. It required organizing. Unions. It required unions. The Aquarium just voted for their right to unionize. That's the start of a big deal. That's a big deal. It started because ordinary people stood together, because regular people spoke truth to power even when their voices shake, which mine does, more often than you know. Because we stood together, because we talked to our neighbors, because we made friends with those who are standing here, and because we agreed to stand up, not just because it affects me, but because I have empathy for those who I don't know your struggle, but I know that I love you, and I know that I'm gonna stand side by side with you to make sure that your rights are protected, in the same way that I know you're gonna stand side by side to protect mine. We're gonna keep registering to vote. We're gonna pay attention to the issues. We're gonna fight for our neighbors. We're gonna fight for ourselves. The billionaires may have their lobbyists, and I hear from them, and we watch them, but we've got each other, and that's a hell of a lot stronger. So as Cory Booker is organized in a sit-in on the congressional steps this morning, I've been watching it all morning with my son on the TV, and he's like, Mom, can I use the TV? And I was like, no, baby, we're watching this story right now. And in Cory Booker's words, the power of the people will always be greater than those people in power. Don't look at me. I may be one of your elected reps, but it's not me who has the power. It's all of us together. So hope is not some faraway thing. It's us. It's all of us. It's my son's elementary school teacher who tells him and all the children in his class that we deserve better, that they deserve better, and then teaches them how to fight for better. So as long as we keep standing up, as long as we keep doing the work, we will be stronger, and we will have a future for our children. So with all that, I want to say thank you for being here. It's my honor to stand here with you in this fight. I don't know where the path leads us from here, but we're going to figure it out together. I never thought I'd be the one saying, let's defend our Constitution, right? This document that was written at a time when it was sexist and racist, but maybe it's our time to fix the Constitution so that we define a better path forward for our future. But we're going to do it together. So thank you all for being here. I love you. I love you.